Welcome to Bogside Chats. We're talking everything DFK, but keeping it casual. We're the first non-whale podcast, no Gen Zeros, stable of 100 heroes. My name's C9N. Join with me is Franz and Guy Kid. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing great. Glad to be here. New quests are out. It's an exciting time in DFK, as long as you're not looking at the price.
Awesome. Well, really quickly, it is April 23rd. We got a couple things on the agenda today, but before we get to it, like, subscribe, leave a comment, help us grow, share it with your friends. Franz, what do we got on the agenda?
Yeah, so as I mentioned briefly right there, the new quests, the training quests are out, so that's going to be a big topic for us today. We're going to dive into a little dev update that was released on Medium, and then Guy is going to give us a little. We're talking summoning again, which is something that we haven't talked in a long time. So I'm excited.
Been a while.
Yeah, been a really long time. So just to start it off, quest. We have some initial thoughts here, boys.
Hi.
They're different buttons, click. So
Oh.
the new NPCs are pretty cool. I will say that, and then it looks like they all have official names now, which is neat too. I'm a little disappointed that it's the same exact quest format as it was before. I thought it would be a little more interactive and a little more player focused, but I think there's some really interesting things that DFK is setting themselves up for long-term growth of the game, which is cool.
Yeah, I saw you mention that on Twitter that you were looking for something a little more interactive. Now, was that based off something that the team said, or was that just you were just hopeful?
I was just hopeful.
Okay.
Pure speculation. We don't do anything else other than that on this podcast.
C9M, what about you?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm certainly getting a lot more XP than I am with foraging or fishing, whatever I'm doing, gardening. But with my luck with not getting an egg, it's awesome to be able to start focusing on those tomes and those pages.
Have you gotten any yet?
Oh, absolutely not. So no eggs, no pages, but the odds have to be better, right? I got to get off the egg thing.
Yeah, I mean, talking about eggs, do we want to kind of recap a little bit on that egg weekend and some of the feedback that was given around on the community and how we all did?
Egg weekend was fun. I ended up with, I think I got 5 eggs that weekend.
Extremely frustrating.
10:58. I was sitting in a meeting in the mines, and like popped up, my gray egg popped up at 10:58, like the last quest I did right before the buzzer, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Connor, you're C9N shit. We we know how you did, so we won't harp on that for too long. I did all right. I got 2 or 3, but focusing. It seemed like there was a lot of negative feedback on that on Twitter, and maybe in the Discord as well. A lot of people were saying, this is going to really inflate the number of eggs that are out there. It's going to devalue the highest value reward that we've gotten from questing. The only reward with some true value, right? So I was a little surprised that people weren't excited to just get more with the idea of having more pets, where it was really a big focus on the EV.
I still think the macro, when it comes to pets, I still think there is an undersupply of pets versus demand, especially once pets have a utility attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did the math out. There's like 10,000 eggs that exist out there or something like that, and there's 35,000 active players. So if every player wants at least 1 egg, that number might be completely wrong, and we may need to edit that.
Yeah, we'll just go with it. That sounded right enough. None of our listeners are going to check it, so
confident. I like it. Keep it going.
No, but the reason that I wanted to kind of dive into the egg thing, right, to tie it into what we're saying about these new quests, everyone was upset because, hey, there are going to be so many more eggs, and now, a week in the future, nobody's doing profession quests anymore. or at least I'm not, and no one I talk to is, right? So I looked at the charts of the eggs in circulation, and they've all kind of leveled off. Not too many new eggs have been found since Wednesday night when those training quests had come out. So maybe the team was kind of expecting this.
Yeah, a way to normalize the market, and everybody's just a little bit too premature and screaming about it. Well, either way, they're babies. Look at me, I'm doing fine without an egg.
There you go, and not bitter at all, right? That's fine.
Not a chance. I love DFK Dev Team. They don't have anything against me.
Well, yeah, I mean now that all the egg hate has kind of blown over, now there's new hate in the DFK community, right? It's gold is being devalued now because one of the big parts of these new training quests is they give out gold, and in the first 24 hours they were giving out double gold. It was really a lot hitting the market. So how do we feel about this? This is something else now where it's something that we've been collecting, or a lot of us have been collecting, and now there's a lot more of it out there.
Can't be too upset, right? Like you said, when it came to the pets, they set it up so that they probably knew that people weren't going to be doing profession quests. They're setting gold up for something. Maybe that's the token used to hatch eggs. So they need a little bit of a supply. But I don't know. What do you think, Guy?
Yeah, I think these training quests drastically increase the supply of gold. And right now there isn't a coinciding increase in demand for it. But I think for the long-term success of the game, I think there needs to be more gold in circulation. And the only potion we're using right now is stamina potions. And there's an argument that everything that you make is going to have a gold component, gold cost component. So before these training quests, the only way you could get gold was mining. And a lot of your everyday hero grinders don't even have miners or have very few miners. So I think this is a good way to balance out the ecosystem as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, miners are the highest priced hero, and it's a hero profession that a lot of people are priced out of, right? I mean, you could send anybody mining, so you can get that gold, but it was difficult to get before now. And now, I mean, this is something I was really excited about. You mentioned Stampots. We all have access to them now. It's the reason that we weren't all making Stampots before this wasn't because of not having enough shimmer skins or not having enough dark weed, right? It was the gold. It was 2,000 gold. It was a lot. It's still significant, but it's more manageable now. We have that source coming in.
I feel like I'm making 2,000 gold a day now. And I already have the rest of the ingredients on the other end for stamp pot. So it's like now realistically I'm creating enough gold where I can create a stamp pot a day.
Yeah.
Helping out the little guys.
Yeah, I mean, and now, with everybody doing the training quests, and I guess I'm making an assumption, right, that everyone's going to continue doing specifically the training quests. I really like the additional XP that you get and that gold. But you assume there'll be a lot less of the community doing the profession quests. The price of those fish and those plants that you get from fishing and foraging, those are probably going to go up in value as well, right?
Right.
Nice.
And I think we have such a big backlog of these level 0 quests where we might not see that price impact for the level 0s. But think of what's being created long term for the questing. You now get to make a decision of, do you want to raise the level of your hero as quickly as possible? Or do you want your hero ROI, your profitability of your hero to be as big as possible with questing rewards and things like that? So they're now creating two different paths your hero can go down. And it's probably going to be enhanced through each next layer of the questing pools when level 10 profession quests come out, when level 2, level 5, level 10, whatever order, adventure quests come out as well. You're going to make a choice of how you want your hero to grow and play in the ecosystem. and it's going to further impact the whole supply demand of the entire economics of the game, which is cool.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, it's, we talk a lot about the game theory aspect, and I think the decisions just got a lot harder, right? Because first reaction, oh my God, look at all this gold, look at all this added XP, new items. Everyone's going to be going on those training quests. Then you think about it a little more, and it's, well, the higher level profession quests are coming, right? And you're going to need a 10 profession score at least to do them. So now all my heroes that don't have a 10 profession score, they have to stay in the profession quests. So I'm sacrificing that added XP. And then even beyond the 10 profession score, that profession score in general, the higher it goes, the higher your rewards, right? And that's something that I feel like it's not always easy to see within the course of questing. It's shown with the locked jewel questing. They show you that per tick or per stamina tick how much you're getting, and you see that increase as your profession score increases. I wish they would put a mechanic in like that for the other professions, so that it's easier to kind of visualize the difference that profession score is making.
That's some way to measure it. Yeah. All I know is getting 135 XP on average is a lot better than getting like 96
Mm-hmm.
for my forager. It's really nice.
No, it is.
Yeah, I think it's a noticeable difference for sure.
Absolutely. Did the dev say anything about what the tomes and pages were actually going to do? I know they were numbered 1 through 9, and then a 10th will be coming out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess number 10 is going to be a separate quest, and it's going to be a little bit more rare. I would think more in line with egg rarity, because these first 9 tomes are more common.
Not bode well for C9N.
No, it doesn't. It's not. Guy, do you want to tell us a little bit about the tomes?
Well, so they're just going to be a lore mechanic. So I don't think that's going to have any function to it, but look at it as like a collector's item in a game. You could go and you could play Oblivion and you could go through the mainstream game mechanics of Oblivion, or you could go into this crazy dungeon and look at some note that was left on a skeleton and go collect all the different notes. So these pages are just going to be one of those strict lore mechanics of the game. But what they've also said too is it's going to be a seasonal aspect of it. So this first Eternal story is going to be out for about 3 months, and then 3 months from now there's going to be a new lore item that'll come out. Maybe they'll start creating some kind of story attached to all of these. That there's a bigger thing happening of maybe I actually haven't even read any of these notes, and we'll pull a couple of them up. Maybe we'll glance through them, but they're pretty in depth. But maybe these will hint at different things coming in the game too. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of overlap built in of foreshadowing of what these are.
Well, so did they say, are they purely lore, or did they say, I might be making this up because it's something I want to happen, but did they say that there's going to be a quest tree coming off of them if you get all 10? Did I make that up?
I don't remember reading that, but that doesn't mean it's not true.
Like it.
mean, maybe I should just, shoot Frisky a text and let him know about that.
Say, hey, by the way.
What's that?
Just say, hey, by the way, I got this idea. Make sure it happens.
Hey,
there's got to be some sort of functionality. Why would they put this in the game? I mean, it's not even wearable like an old school RuneScape party hat. It's just what you keep it in your inventory otherwise, and it's a cool tome. I mean, there's got to be something attached.
I mean, it's going to make an NFT, right?
It's a collector's item, right?
I feel like you're hating on them a little, C9M, but like I want one, right?
No, I want one too. I'm not hating. Yeah. I'm saying there's got to be some further functionality, which we'll see.
I'm gonna look into that. I know that doesn't help our listeners that I'm looking into it after we record, but I feel like I saw that there's going to be a quest line there. So
I thought I saw something about minting an NFT too.
That would be cool.
What else have we got on the agenda here?
Yeah. Next, we did get a little dev update on Medium that I didn't see at first, but was very excited to read through once I did. It touched on a few things. First of all, guy, if you want to scroll to that pet that they released, as cool as the little tree, the little ent that we saw last time was, the last one they released, this one is much better in my mind.
Shadow Wolf
and
Pup.
it hits on a couple different things too. It's a wolf. It's a wolf pup, which is really cool. It's got an animation mechanic, which is awesome. But then look at this card. It's got an element attached to it. It's got a rarity attached to it. And then we've seen 3 different bonuses before, but the only thing we saw before on the other cards, it was a plant every single time. So that plant we saw from the Ent creature was probably a foraging questing boost. Or maybe a gardening questing boost.
Yeah,
That
I
would
thought
probably make
gardening
more sense.
were potted plants.
Yeah, gardening would make more sense. But this wolf pup looks like it's a mining boost.
Clearly.
But then there's a couple of PvP boosts too. Of maybe this is a resistance or endurance boost of some kind of protection for your hero, and then I
For
would
those
guess
listening,
boots.
that's a helmet that guy's mousing over.
Yep. And then for the boots, that's probably an agility boost.
Agility,
So
yeah.
your pet's probably going to boost protection and agility. And then the other really interesting thing that was that happened too, gaining respect of a wolf is difficult and dangerous, though made easier if befriended from puphood. Puphood. It's possible in these situations for a wolf to become soulbound, providing a companion for life. So this is the first time we've seen soulbound being used, which will tie the pet directly to a hero.
Well, wait. So I want to take a step back on that. It's written in very small writing right underneath. To me, and because I saw people talking about this on Twitter, to me, I read that as lore. Like, do you think that means that the pet is going to be soulbound?
Soulbound is
It was a poor choice of words if it is lore. I'll admit that.
that's a smoking gun.
It has to be what they're saying. But I don't know. It's also suggesting the progression aspect too, of there's a benefit to having a pet in an earlier stage. And maybe that's what it's hinting on too, of whether it's soulbound or maybe the boost isn't as good as if the pet gets traded or something like that. If you've got a fully developed pet that you trade in the market, maybe the boost drops off a little bit. I don't know. I'm getting into crazy speculation at this point.
You cherry picked a little bit on what you said. You know, there is that first line there where it says, "I can't read your screen if you want to read it." The first sentence.
The wolves and direwolves can be found from the snowy tundra of Crystalvale. So these will be Crystalvale eggs. That's something we didn't even talk about. Crystalvale versus Serendale based pets.
Well, so right, and again, that's why I read all that, and I think it's just a lore. Do you think you're going to be able to find these in Crystalvale?
So maybe reading at that just first statement, maybe you're right. Maybe this whole phrase is just lore, and this still can be one of your gray Serendale eggs, but theoretically the pup came from Crystalvale.
Well, so a few things. I think it's probably yellow egg, right? Even though the pup is gray.
You're assuming based on mining, but I
Based
read
on mining, right?
Of the Fairling Forest, I read foraging based off of that. But
okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird to throw. I still think it's just lore, but it's very strange to throw that in there if it's not alluding
some
to
kind
actual
of
mechanics, especially the use of the word soulbound.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. But going back to the icons listed there, right? The minor, what do you call that thing?
Pickaxe,
the helmet, and the boots. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool that it could possibly affect or buff those three different things, right? Because the last one that we saw, like you mentioned, just had 3 pots. So now I'm thinking the one with the 3 pots, is that going to be like a super boost on the gardening profession? Whereas this is more of kind of an all around boost because it's going to boost 3 different things.
That's how I read it. And the super boost is good for your concentrated players.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to min max, you want a wolf pup with 3 boots for your Agi Ninja.
Yeah.
One more thing is this looks like it's a shiny too, so they're incorporating that aspect into the pets cards.
Yeah, I guess they are. I mean, right now with the heroes, it doesn't do anything, so it's just a cosmetic. Maybe, with the pets, I'd assume it's the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
One thing I don't see here, which is expected not to see, but I'm still disappointed, is there's no 3 out of 3 summoning or breeding.
Oh. Did they say? I thought they said they weren't going to be able to be bred.
They said they weren't going to be able to be bred, but I was still hoping that would change.
You wanted
I
another
like summoning.
casino?
Please let me summon.
Well, listen. I mean, that seems like a great segue. I know we don't have Matty Tusk here to give us those great segues, but let's go into that summoning EV you were going to talk about.
Yeah, so I been trying to figure out, is it, with everything happening in the market, is it time to start summoning again? Like that's the big question I'm trying to figure out. Floor's back up to 37. And with 2 Gen 1s, your cheapest Gen 1 summon is 32 Jewel. So it's like the pricing's getting better. Your Gen 1s, your floor for your Gen 1s right at 60, right at kind of break even. But so what I've been trying to figure out is, all right, if I were to take my recessive pirate and my recessive monk, I got a 22% chance of a ninja. What can I expect the value to be out of that summon? So what I did is I took all the probabilities. I've got a 58% chance of getting a common. I've got a 12.5% chance of getting a rare and a 0.5% chance of getting a mythic. And I broke those down into your pirate, your monk, your ninja, or your 4% chance of other. I did not equate professions into it at all. I've got a couple summoning peers that have a 10% chance of mining too, so I'd probably try to factor that into my EV somehow and add another profession layer to it. But basically what I did is for all of these values, I looked up the floor value for them. So the floor app value, just for easy lookups on my end, I did 7 summon Gen 2s to be the result, which is a rough average. 7 versus 6 is not that big of a difference. 7 versus 9 is not that big of a difference. But then obviously if I get a ninja in my first 5 summons, the ninja's going to have 5 summons left. So I took all these values, I looked them up. Floor for a pirate or monk's 37. A legendary is 140. A mythic's 385. A common ninja's going for 90. A rare ninja's going for 150. And then you got your others too. And then so basically what I did is I took this probability and times it by that amount to get these values right here. And these values, when you add them all up, will create the expected value of, if you summon, you're going to get an average of this number. Any guesses as to what this number is?
C9, what do we got?
I'm gonna go with 47.
47.
47 Jewel.
Franz, let me ask you the same question in a different way. What would you need this number to be in order for you to summon? You were to take 2 Gen 1s, put them together. What do you need your expected value of your Gen 2 to be in order for it to be worth it for you?
I mean, and so I'll be honest. I started doing some quests on the background there.
Yeah.
So is this? Are we looking at the average based on rarity, or of any rarity? Because if we're just talking common floor, I would just need it to be right around the floor value on the tavern.
So if you were to summon your pirate and your monk together, you need the value of that resale to be 40.
Yeah, at least with hope that it's going to be a ninja or a higher rarity hero, and then obviously that's where I'm making my money.
And that's exactly it. Of with those upsides of the ninjas or getting a legendary or a mythic pirate or a monk, you can expect to get 58 jewel for this. Now, the likelihood of getting 37 versus 400, you're more likely to get 37, but that basically washed out numbers is 58. And so I look at it as, all right, these two heroes cost me, say, 80 jewel each, and the summon cost me 32. So I'm expecting to make 25 jewel every time I summon, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good. So are we going to do one?
Yes. So my next kind of debate is I've got 3 heroes. I actually I did this math out last week and was like, fuck it, time to start summoning. And my first hit was a rare ninja.
Oh,
So I'm already playing with house money at this point, so I'm definitely gonna ramp up my summoning again. But so my debate now is I had a 10 out of 10 pirate that I summoned with a 9 out of 10 monk. So now I have a 9 out of 10 pirate and 8 out of 10 monk. But I also have another monk that's 9 out of 10. So I think I take the 9 out of 10 monk and summon it with the 9 out of 10 pirate. The problem is the 9 out of 10 monk's not recessive.
now question for you. You mentioned, I think at the beginning, that you weren't really taking profession into account there. Is that right?
Yeah, just for like easy math and getting this EV number. Obviously, the mining floor is going to be higher, so this is just This is a lower number than the realistic.
Well, what I was going to ask is the idea of not focusing on profession. Did the new quest coming out have some, some influence on that?
They did not,
No,
but
because the way I'm seeing it is all my off profession guys. My Dark Knight Fisher that I hate sending him fishing because I just don't like how it looks. It doesn't matter that he's a fisher anymore. He's just going to be doing training quests nonstop.
and I 100% agree with that sentiment of the training quest path now gives you a quest line to completely remove profession from the card.
Yeah, I think the kind of issue with that is that I don't know how long it's going to take for the market to react that way. Like I still think that for resale value, your wizard fishers are still going to be valued a lot lower, right?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
The same way that we don't see advanced
Well, so
ability being factored in.
you guys saw the first thing that I did is, all right, this other pair that I have that could potentially work, is it worth it for me? And I went and saw, all right, there's an ability match, so yes, it's worth it for me. I'm gonna do it. But
There
is
you
that
go.
priced into the market? If I end up with a ninja with 2 advanced abilities, I'm gonna have to hold that because it's not priced into the market at all.
Right. Yeah. And that's how I spend my time, is finding or trying to find advanced abilities that are priced too low or priced near floor. But it's the long game, right? Because until they make some kind of an announcement, we're not going to see the real value for that. The goal would be they make an announcement, advanced abilities are everything we think they are, and then we cash in. Or
Yeah.
we don't sell any of them because we are too excited for PvP. One of them.
I was gonna say let's let's keep the word as quiet as possible so we can stock up on our own advanced abilities.
Problem
and then
is,
hopefully at that time
I already have too many heroes with advanced abilities. I want the market to adjust so I can start offloading some of them.
Yeah, I won't buy one without an advanced anymore, unless it's a 10 of 10 and I'm trying to match it with another 10 of 10 to make the advanced.
Just
Something just happened now.
So are we going? We're in the portal. All right. I forgot what this screen looked like. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Oh man, this is exciting. Are these level 5 by chance? What are we looking at?
No, they're
Okay,
not.
so no added tiers. Are you
No
using
added tiers. Level 3s. They're both 9 to 10, so I'll at least end up with an 8 to 10 out of this. The pirate has a Dark Knight subclass, which is cool.
Ooh,
So I like that combination.
yeah.
Even if I end up with a like another pirate, if I end up with another pirate Dark Knight, I'm good with that.
What's the percent on if you have one? Is it 35, 40% chance of carrying over?
Let's see. I have a 38% chance of getting the Dark Knight.
Dark Knight sub. That's
Yep.
great.
And so the other subclass options, I have a 49% chance of getting an archer. Where if I end up with a ninja, archer is arguably one of the best subclasses for ninja.
Yeah.
With high dexterity.
So, all right. So, and I don't want to take us off on too much of a tangent here. This is a conversation for another episode. But I think about subclasses a lot. And while stat-wise, I agree with you, I always am skeptical of the archer subclass because I feel like it'll have, when we get a skill tree, I feel like it'll be more range-based. And I don't know if I want my ninja to be ranged. And that's why I lean towards the warrior as the better sub because you still get that dex boost.
And
And
archers,
I don't know. I'm speculating.
the one kind of surprise I have about archers with this game compared to archers in pretty much all other games is archers actually have a high strength stat as well.
Mhm.
So I agree with you from the warrior subclass perspective of the strength benefits there of I think of what a warrior move could be like it could be some kind obviously it could be like a taunt, which is useless, but it could be some kind of like improve your strength, improve the power of your hit or something like that,
Mhm.
which could definitely benefit an archer.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's topic for another time, though. Let's get to summoning.
36 jewel cost. Can't beat that.
All right, so 1 jewel below 4.
Yeah. We should be in the green no matter the outcome.
That's maybe.
I don't even like what is this crystal thing? What does this do?
We're
I don't even know anymore.
gonna get.
So what are we looking for? We're
Yeah.
looking for a ninja. We want that katana.
And we want purple and a nice Dark Knight subclass.
I've done like 55 summons and still haven't gotten a mythic. I have one
Oh my
legendary.
Ooh,
It doesn't make any
nice
sense.
humble brag there on the summit. Little flex there. Amount of summons. That was
I
back
know
in the good old days.
Yeah, I really hope that ends up turning into a Gen Zero for me. With all I like did a huge summoning blast.
Ooh.
That
A
is
katana?
not a
Is that a
katana.
warrior?
That's a warrior.
That's fantastic.
Warrior
A
Knight.
warrior knight.
What a chance.
15% chance of minor.
Oh, that would be the
Ah,
gardener. Okay.
Blue White Gardener doesn't completely suck.
Yeah, that's not
But
terrible, right? Because you can summon for that pally. What were the chances there?
12% actually higher
Okay.
than I thought.
Okay.
12% chance of the knight. So like not like
Let's check that ability.
it's a crazy draw, but not that crazy of a draw at the same time. And
All right,
what?
we'll just re-record this with a better summon. Well,
Yeah, perfect.
we'll
We'll
just
just
keep going until we get something really cool.
We'll match it with that rare ninja you took last week.
Yeah.
We got that. We got that advanced 4.
Okay.
There you go.
So I'm probably gonna have to hold them now. Although two advanced abilities, I'm definitely gonna hold. One
Yeah.
advanced ability I can justify if it's a nice card, but
Yeah.
I
You
don't
can find
feel
it.
obligated to hold it. Exactly.
Luck though, that green luck.
C9 in his luck.
Yeah, I mean the vid is good for gardening and for warrior.
I mean, he's already in 11 strength. Like that's
You can
not a
talk
bad
yourself
starting
into
point
keeping it
from a
there.
strength. I can talk myself into this being a good card.
Those
So what?
wings.
Are you gonna list it, or are you gonna? Yeah, the wings too. You can go for match that with the other wings and go for either the portal or the orbs, whichever one that lines up with.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna list it because I mean it's probably gonna go for floor. I think what I'm gonna do with like my floors is I'm just gonna level them to level 5, and by the time they get to level 5, I think the value of leveling will be adjusted into the market by that point because we'll probably have future quests and all these other things.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could just do a giveaway for our listeners right now. I mean, it's up to you.
Is C9N allowed to throw his name in the hat for the giveaway?
No, no, you're not. But no, that does bring us to one more point that we've been discussing a lot lately. We do want to do a giveaway, and we're doing one right now. It's going to be a little different than some of the giveaways of the past. We pride ourselves on being a non-whale podcast, so it will not be a hero giveaway. But we're also not going to advertise.
You can rent my Gen 2 warrior. How about that?
Oh, is that what we're
I'll
doing?
rent my Gen 2 warrior at cost for you.
There we go.
Is that even a giveaway?
That or what we had previously discussed, 3 stamp pots. So we're not going to advertise this. It's going to be just for the people that listen to the end of this episode. What you need to do to enter is you need to comment with not just a comment that says like, "Hey, entering the giveaway." Give us a little feedback, right? Comment on this episode. You'll be entered. We'll be announcing it sometime next week. We'll send you 3 stamp pots if you win.
Give it a like too.
Yeah, give us a like. Must be subscribed. Must follow us all on Twitter. Stuff like that. But we're probably not.
Friends, do we want it to be a comment on Twitter versus YouTube? YouTube, we might run into an issue of tracking down the correct person.
Didn't think that far into it. That's a good point. Well, we'll comment back on their comments and
we'll work it out.
Twitter or their Discord that way.
We want it for dedicated viewers. We don't want to put it out there on Twitter.
Yeah, we probably should have talked this over more before throwing it in there, but
Do you want me to go down the rabbit hole, or we talk about it offline?
yeah, we'll talk about it offline.
Cool.
C9N, why don't you take us out on that note?
This has been an episode of Bogside Chats. We're the first non-whale podcast. No Gen Zeros, no stable of 100 heroes.
Thanks.